Summer's here, and for me, this month is all about keeping the garden looking its best, from simple maintenance to adding new plants. Here are my essential jobs for June. June is a time when many plants are looking their best, but keeping them looking that way involves some regular tinkering. First of all, work your way through your beds and borders, deadheading any shrubs or perennials using a sharp pair of secateurs. In the case of roses, look for flowers that have gone over and snip them out. If there's only one in a cluster that's gone over, snip it out on its own. If the whole stem is finished, go further down and cut out about 9 inches, 23 centimetres of stem. This is particularly important with repeat flowering roses because it encourages more growth throughout the summer. Perennials like peonies only have one flush of flower each season, so cut back any faded flowers to the first full leaf. Not only will the plant look better, it'll conserve its energy for next year's blooms. Now's also a good time to take out your hoe and cut off any annual weeds that are popping up among your plants. Skimming off the top of the weed kills it before it has a chance to establish. June's also a time when some plants like delphiniums and the taller geraniums start to flop. Use the correct plant supports. Powder-coated steel supports are wonderful because they last longer, and if you let the plants grow through them, they become invisible. Some plants like peonies even have supports designed for them. You put it in place before the plant grows through it, and as it comes up, the stems of the plants are properly supported. Go through your borders looking for these little jobs that need doing every few days. It's pleasurable. It's what we call gardening. June is also a time when watering becomes a regular task in the garden. It's easy to get carried away with watering, particularly in hot summers, but knowing when to water and how to water, as well as what to water, is key to helping your plants and preserving your supplies. I water early in the morning or early in the evening because water evaporates more slowly then than it does in the hot noonday sun. You can figure out if your plants need watering by checking the soil. If your border looks dry on top, it may still be moist underneath. Get your trowel out and check. If it's damp 2 or 3 inches down, it's got enough water in it. I've said it many times, but using the correct watering technique is also important. Don't just spray water all over the top of the plants. Aim for the earth immediately around the base, because that's where it's taking it up, and try and get your hose as close to the earth as possible. One thing that people often don't water enough is containers. Although rain will fall on them, it won't get down through the foliage, which acts like an umbrella. In the case of broadleaf plants like hostas, the water often just runs off. Use your fingers to check for moisture, and if the compost's damp, you don't need to water it. If it's dry, give the plant a really good soak and aim for the area where the water will get to the roots of the plant. Push your hose down in among the foliage. For large or newly planted beds and borders, an oscillating sprinkler is a great solution. Plug it into your hose pipe and leave it running in any one spot for about half an hour. And if you haven't already, invest in water butts that are connected to your downpipes. You can't have enough of them, especially when hose pipe bans are in effect. Next on my to-do list for June, feeding plants in pots and containers. One thing you'll start to notice is that plants in your pots and containers are starting to run out of steam. They've exhausted the food in the compost. The leaves become a bit paler and the flowers become smaller and fewer in number. Growth seems to slow down. That's when it's time to feed them. I always use an organic feed, like a liquid seaweed mixture. As well as nitrogen, phosphates and potash, it's full of trace elements like magnesium and boron that plants really appreciate. Make sure your container's been really well watered before you apply any liquid feed, and then add the correct amount to a can of water. In this case, 2 capfuls. Don't bother to add another one for the pot. You'll be looking at adding the feed about once a week or once a fortnight. As well as containers and pots, don't forget those features which really add something to doorways and pergolas. Hanging baskets. Many people have a love-hate relationship with hanging baskets. They're sometimes considered a bit naff, but where space is limited and you've got a blank wall, they really do bring colour and interest, particularly in confined spaces. The great thing about hanging baskets is that there's a style to suit almost any type of garden. From a low maintenance option filled with succulents to a hanging herb garden planted with thyme and rosemary. Whatever your preference, make sure your basket is sturdy, ideally made from wire and steel, and use a coir lining. I want the lining to be covered by plants, so first I cut holes in it all the way round and place the basket on a bucket or a pot so it's stable. For a growing medium, you can use peat-free multi-purpose compost, but you can also get specially formulated tub and basket compost. To create a traditional style basket, I plant trailing ivy through the lower holes, making sure to water the plants first, and then push the roots through the hole from the outside in. Higher up, I'm adding blue bacopa. I then fill up the basket with compost and add water storing crystals to help stop it drying out. Around the edges, I'm adding diacia, lobelia, petunias and dianthus. And then, in the middle, another petunia, painted love purple. Once you've hung your basket, give it a really good watering. A really good soaking once in the morning and once in the evening in really hot weather should do the trick. My last task is adding some really show-stopping plants to my beds and borders. June is when many garden plants are really coming into their own, and I think every bed or border should have at least 1 or 2 that really knock your socks off. Here are 4 that you'll find in garden centres and nurseries that I think are really worth their salt. If you're looking for height in the garden, then a lupin like this variety, Cashmere Cream, is a real eye-catcher. It has a shortish season of flower, but what a display it offers, with tall spires of bloom exploding like fireworks from the starry-shaped leaves on the central stalk. Another great back of the border option is the foxglove. For me, all foxgloves are glorious, but this one, Illumination Flame, is a bit different with its unusual petals. It'll grow in most soils and in partial shade, and it'll reseed throughout the border, so you'll see many more of them in years to come. Another stunning plant that would be a great addition to our cottage garden here is the penstemon. This variety, Laura, has delicate pink and white flowers and is perfect for the front or middle of the border, and it just keeps on flowering right on through the summer to the first frost. As well as being stunning to look at, real stalwarts of the border are the salvias. They come in all colours from scarlet to pale creamy white. This one, purple and bloom, is a beauty, and it'll grow up to 1 metre high. Salvias are brilliant fillers, and even when the flowers fade, They leave behind seeds for the birds. Whatever you plant, do remember that those first few weeks of establishment are really important. Don't let your plants go short of water. If they look like flopping, give them some kind of support. And just for those first few weeks, mother them a bit and you'll be really well rewarded. June is a glorious month in the garden. So much promise, so much to enjoy, so much to plant. But do remember, there's a time to crack on and there's a time to leave well alone. If all you do is work, you begin to question what you're doing it for. And the answer is, for those moments when you can sit down and just give it what my dad would have called a good coat of looking at. Whatever else you do this June, enjoy your garden with a cup or a glass in your hand. Why not join our growing community and subscribe to the channel? I'm posting new videos on gardening every week.